Welcome for the second edition of the Habs Locker Room Report with the hockey coach, Coach Franchise, directly for the beautiful country of Thailand. And we have to go all the way to Hawkesbury, Ontario. Sit at home and waiting for the discussion of the Montreal Canadiens, Mr. Marko Larrabee, and from Toronto and the Caveman, somewhere, somehow waiting for the Marko talk about something like special tonight. Mr. Enortap, welcome back, both of you, tonight.
Hey,
hello,
Coach,
and happy
Marko.
Wednesday, guys. Yeah, happy Wednesday, guys. Back in the locker room. The locker room.
Looking better. He's getting busy today. Well, the locker room was in and out, a lot of plug back and forth with a lot of day number one, honestly, of the really, we can call this for the Montreal Canadiens season 2023-2024 for the preparation of the rookie camp. Start the Friday, September 15. But we have a lot of discussion to talk about the camp. We're going to look about this and what player you're going to watch, and then what it would be one or two could take advantage of the camp to maybe make some highlights and maybe leave an impression for the staff for the Montreal Canadiens. So we'll talk about something about that. And of course, all around the news for the Montreal Canadiens. So that's what we got tonight on the great subject of the Montreal Canadiens on the Wednesday night. September 13, 2023. And we are less than 1 month away from the NHL 2023-2024 season. So can wait to see this very soon. Both of you, thanks to be with us. We'll be there for about 90 minutes with a French quiz tonight. Only 3 questions tonight. I got this very 3 questions. Why not? Because we have a lot of conversation to talk about anyway, so we have more time to talk about some subject and we got. Here we go. Before we start, if you don't mind, guys, we want to welcome everybody very quickly, and then I'm going to move on for the subject number 1 of the night. Mr. Claude Richard from Ottawa, your neighbor, Mr. Marko, is in the house.
Welcome.
We put some kind of, over our head on the top of the locker room, some kind of information they can get. Mr. Sébastien is in the house. Welcome back, Mr. Sébastien. I'm getting a little bit, I'm getting a bit better, so go to get there. Thanks to be with us, Mr. Sébastien. A lot of comments in the chat. And we have our friend from upstate New York area, Mr. Larry Lavallee, prepare his luggage to go to Arizona. Hopefully you're doing well, Mr. Larry. We miss you during the week.
Nice to see you, Larry. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Larry.
We have Mr. Léon Renaud, de retour avec nous ce soir de la région de Montréal. Welcome back, Mr. Léon.
Welcome.
Dans les Maritimes, Halifax, Rick Bengal, back in the house with Dimitra.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, Sir Rick?
And our friend from New Jersey. All the news update information you need to know. He got this for each one of us. Mr. RJ Calabro is in the house tonight.
The human scoreboard.
RJ.
Thanks for being with us.
Just don't put up the J's tonight.
I know. Mr. Conrad, back-to-back night with the Hockey Nation. Thanks so much to be with us, Mr. Conrad. Always a pleasure having you aboard all the time.
Welcome.
Try to pick it up everything from Alberta. Friend co-host of the Hockey Nation sometime, Mr. Randy Walkman. Knock the door.
Hey, Preston Wolf's agent. Yeah.
From Carolina, North Carolina. Fans of the Detroit, fans of the Hurricanes. Mr. KLS is in the house.
Welcome.
About KLS.
The driver UPS, somewhere, somehow in south of Miami, south of Montreal, northern Montreal, maybe at Laval, maybe in Mascouche. You can find him in Terrebonne. Who depends? He stopped by. One thing we know, he is back in the house. The Roadrunner, Gary Cournoyer, is in the house.
Hey, Gary.
Bonjour, Gary.
Thanks so much, Rick. And he's still working on his Polaris 440 snowmobile for the upcoming season. Mr. William McLary is in the house tonight.
How's it going, William?
Our friend Gary, de retour avec nous ce soir. Welcome back, Mr. Gary. Hopefully you had amazing, great weeks. Glad to having you aboard for another great edition of course, the Habs Locker Room Report.
Welcome, Gary.
Nice having you.
And here we go. Moderator number 1 knocked the door directly from York and Toronto, a little bit north of Mr. Marko, Mr. Enortap, and Luciano Graziano knocked the door.
Lulu.
It's the other way around. It's the other way around, Coach. I'm a little bit north of him.
Oh, yeah, you are?
Yes.
Oh, it's because I read the map wrong side.
Upside down. Yeah, that's okay.
I just wanted to be sure. But thanks for letting me know, Mr. Born to be Ab is in the house tonight.
Welcome, boy.
From Winnipeg, Manitoba, with his beautiful Colette, we have Mr. Dan Asham is in the house tonight.
Any relations
going
with
down?
Aaron Asham? Remember Aaron Asham?
No. I think he said
No
no
relation?
once.
Okay.
Yeah, we asked that question once.
Okay.
We have Mr. Rodney Redcliffe, Mr. Enortap, and Marko is back in the house tonight.
Rodney.
Welcome.
Rodney gets no respect. He gets no respect.
Here we go. Try to pick up everything in the chat. I know you're talking. I did not listen what you said there, but it's okay. And Demetra is back in the house, Mr. Enortap and Marko. Demetra, beautiful Demetra,
Hey,
wife of
Demetra.
Mr. Rick Bengal.
Welcome. Keep that Rick in line, Dimitra.
And he just finished his training for his run for as a rookie for the WWE. We have a triple W back in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Marko, I stand corrected.
And Aaron is a cousin. Aaron is a cousin of Dan Asham. So
is a cousin.
If you want to have this,
he is the cousin.
There you go.
Number 45 on the paper
player.
points. Last time I saw him in NHL about that one.
Tough player. Tough player.
Very feisty. Very feisty.
Yeah.
Good.
So anyhow,
Wesh,
we have everybody knock the door. So thanks to be a part of the show. Before we start, I'm going to see the subject of the night and maybe it remind you. How many days before that we start the season?
Oh, what are we
Eric
down
Desjardins?
to now?
Eric Desjardins?
Eric Desjardins, what is he, 27?
Oh, Kovalev.
Yeah.
27.
Kovalev.
Mr. Enortap, we are there. Before that, the subject tonight, guys, it's easy. Our rookie camp. Going to give you a little bit what's going on, what's happening today, and then, of course, we're going to talk about what you expect for the next couple of days. 3 nights is going to be play hockey for the rookie camp. It's going for the rookie for the players. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Monday. We're going to talk about this next couple of minutes. If you follow, of course, the Hockey Nation website or channel, we talk about the rookie camp, a player to watch, Owen Beck. This is a new series I did for the week, for 1 week only. Player to watch at this camp. We know what he did last season with the Montreal Canadiens. And then the Carey Price interview he did yesterday. So I'll give you a little bit a resume of the comments about Carey Price. You can see on the hockey. And then I do another website. Do I have this here? Yes, I did Price Échangé. In French, you can watch this on the Habs Nation. And possible they will trade Carey Price, Mr. Enortap and Mr. Marko. Maybe you can tell me, do you expect sometime, somehow, they will trade or not? Carey Price, Marko.
Oh my God, you know what? Well, let's just get it out of the way and talk about Carey Price. I hope we don't talk to him about him for the rest of the year because I don't know, it's kind of a non-story in my opinion. But I think like it would be a lot easier for them to manage their salary cap situation if they were able to move him. But I think he's still got 4 years left, including this year. So that's kind of hard, man. Like maybe when it gets to 2 years, maybe you have a team that's willing to take that on to hit the floor. But I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. Like I think Kent Hughes is just going to have to learn how to manage that for the foreseeable future because, Arizona, which has historically been the dumping ground for these kinds of toxic salaries, doesn't look like they're really in the business of doing that too much right now. So really, which teams are going to be in the, like Chicago was in the business of doing that for a short while, but now they have Bedard. So they're going to be transitioning probably quicker than they thought before they got Bedard. So you need two to tango, right? So I'm sure Kent Hughes would be happy to do that, but 4 years, that's a lot of dead money to carry around. So I don't know. It's going to be hard.
Enough that.
Yeah, well, no pun intended, but if the price is right, they'll do it, of course. But as Marko mentioned, it's tough. You got 4 years at 10.5 million. Not too many teams will be willing to accept that, even to bring them up to the base of their salary. So it's going to be tough to do anything now. If something materializes maybe in the last year or two, that's more plausible. I think you might have a team at that point that might want to deal with it, and you might even have to help it along a little bit with adding something to that in order to facilitate that kind of a trade. But I don't anticipate it happening personally.
Yeah, but you remember they did with Shane Weber, right? I mean, people should never trade him. It is happening. He could have the same situation where the team have no money, like Vegas did. They open up money to get another players on left and right on the market, and the situation, and that's what they did. They trade that enough. So Montreal Canadiens could do the same situation the next 3 years. With Carey Price, you can send Carey Price to any team in NHL, and that open up $10.5 million on the salary cap for them, for that team. So wouldn't be surprised maybe at the end of his last contract year, the Montreal Canadiens could have that kind of trade somewhere around the NHL. And the fact they did that, Vegas Golden Knights, they open up more money to bring a new players, and that will give them flexibility to add Barbashev at the traded line, and that will give them a flexibility at some point to get more. They play the playoff with almost like $100 million. So it could happen. I would not be surprised about this. The good news that Carey Price is open up to go that area about that. So would be interesting to see happening about that for sure. But tonight we're going to start the show this way. Before we talk about a rookie game, Montreal Canadiens did a trade today with the Ottawa Senator. They trade for Jakov Novak. And then in return, Montreal trade the best player they have in this organization, the future consideration. Novak is a player played for the last 2 seasons with the Northeastern. The connection between the Northeastern guys and the Ken Hughes. Son play over there, and Jordan Harris and Stubble are coming for that organization. 24 years old, draft in 2018 by the Ottawa Senators, 7 round, 188 overall pick. Play left winger, center. Is a big 6'3", 203 pounds. The last 2 seasons, he scored 8 goals per season, 17 points in 2022. 2021, 2022. Last season, he had 12 points. And then when he played with the East Coast Hockey League and Allen American, he has 12 points and 14 games with them. Only 1 goal and 6 games with Allen American. If you know where is Allen, Allen is a city in Texas, a little bit east of the Dallas Star location. About Novak. So Novak is another additional player for the Montreal Canadiens. Going to be definitely go to the Laval Rocket for the upcoming season. They just add more experience, like age just was, not maybe as a hockey professional, but to get a winger at 6'3", I think that's pretty good. We know Montreal are going to be small again as a forward in Laval Rocket. So this is the trade between the Montreal, very minor, nothing big. I make a video about him a little bit earlier. The report about Novak, look, a great skater, played with Bentley. I never heard about this before that, before he got the transfer to Northeastern. And he's a guy, he can have a good skate, he's a great skater, like I said to you. Can score good vision, but again, unfortunately, never adapt at the speed of the game with the NCAA. But I think there's a good additional player for the Laval Rocket for the upcoming season. Worst case, right now, East Coast Hockey League at the beginning with the 12-year line, they need some kind of players anyway with the East Coast Hockey League. So, anything you want to add, one of you two, about that minor trait?
I know very
Yeah,
little about him. He looks handsome. He looks like a handsome young man, and I think Jakov Novak sounds more like a tennis player. So I don't know, like if we have to have a tennis tournament or something, maybe he'll be able to be a good representative for the Habs. But yeah, he's just a depth guy. You know, I don't know. Did you have anything else, Enortap, other than how handsome he was?
Yeah, right. No, I was just going to add, I think more than anything with his size, he is a depth player. He's also there to help fill in. Like he can score as well. I think he recorded 91 points in all of his NCAA games that he's played. So he's there really to replace the loss of Alex Belzil and Anthony Richard that they suffered this year. And we know Laval is going to be a very good team, but they're probably going to go through, a month or a month and a half of restructuring and getting used to each other because there's a lot of rookies on the team as well. So they brought in a player with a little bit more experience that can not only help them score a little bit, but bring a little bit more maturity to the dressing room as well.
Also, I'm going to welcome a couple of people. RDP is in the house for Newfoundland, where Joe Manella is in the house. Thanks to be a part of the show. Nicolas de Gobibodno, welcome back in the house tonight on a great Wednesday night. Nat, she's in the house too. And then don't forget, guys, if you don't mind, we want to remind you every Sunday night and Wednesday night until the season starts, it's all about the Montreal Canadiens. We're going to talk about the Habs all the time. One night, the Sunday night, is a weekly recap. And then, of course, tonight is called the Locker Room Report. So that's what we got there for each one of you guys. Thanks so much. Mr. Jerry from Sweden, guys, is in the house.
Hey, Jerry.
And then let's move on, guys, for the next subject we got tonight, Ab News Rookie Camp. We know the camp start today with some kind of testing. If you follow a little bit the social media, we'll see it right now, Owen Beck. But it was a very interesting day for them, the rookies, to know more each other and to participate at this fun exercise to improve their skill and their abilities on the physicality of who they are. And then it's going to carry on with one more practice tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, before they go in the direction of Buffalo to play 3 games. Friday night, 6:30, I believe. And then you have 3:30 afternoon, Saturday, off Sunday, and Monday they play at 1:30 before they're returning to the Montreal to the beginning of the main camp a couple of days later. That's what's happening. All the game, guys, are on the RDS TV, and all the game are on the YouTube channel under the Montreal Canadiens Ab TV. So yeah, you can watch the game if you want to at that location. Are you going to do some game culture? Yes, I will. Definitely the game from Friday night. I will definitely go that one for sure and see what happening. The first thing with that, many times they don't have the clock, they don't have no replay, and it's a little bit difficult. But we have a great night to talk about the Montreal Canadiens. That would be a great place to do so. Expect to be live on that night, the first game of the game, where they're going to play again the Buffalo Sabres rookies. If I can recall it, it could be wrong. Cannot remember. But that's what we got, guys, for the news of the rookie camp. The schedule, you got it. 27 players going to be there, 9-15 forward, 9 defensemen, 3 goalies, and 3 players are invited, not drafted Montreal Canadiens, and Mr. Enortap and then Mr. Marko. This is a question I'm looking forward to ask you the first of the night. Which player are you going to watch most during that? Maybe someone you're looking for, and maybe one under radar, whatever you want to call it. So share it with us your process, what you're going to do for watching those this camp, the rookie camp for the Montreal Canadiens.
Well, for me, Coach, we talked a little bit about this on Sunday. Reinbacher obviously is there. I think they're not because he'll necessarily crack the lineup, I don't think that's the case. He'll be going back to Austria to play with his home team, but it's there just to sort of figure out where some of the deficiencies are and how to best come up with a plan in terms of his development and to relay that information as well with the team. But it's good that he's there because he gets the experience and the opportunity to play at different size rink and see how he's going to be. Of course, he's going to be without his buddy Hudson there because they're very used to playing together. Melo for me will be the interesting one to look at. I think that he's made some very good strides, and it's one of those situations where do you feel like he's made enough of a stride to make the team, and even if he has a good camp, is there room for him this year? And for that to happen, there would have to be a drop off with somebody that was on the team last year, whether it's a Harris or a Barron or an injury, perhaps something to that effect. The other guy I would love, I'm going to keep my eyes open for is Emil Heineman. I think that the strides that he made last year were fantastic. He's got good size. He's got a very good shot. He likes to go into the corners. He likes to go in front of the net. He's not afraid, and I like that in a player, and it's something that we dearly miss. If you recall, we got him in the Toffoli trade with Calgary, and it was hard to lose Toffoli for his goal scoring, but I think Heineman will more than make up for it because he has a little bit more to offer. Maybe not so much goal wise, but in terms of overall play.
Super chat. You do it after.
Yeah. Okay. And for me, those are the three main ones. Like with Beck, I don't suspect they know what they have in Beck, but I don't suspect unless because of injuries that he'll be up with the squad right now. If Dvorak is not ready for the beginning of the year, you might see Owen Beck up for maybe 7, 8, 9 games max, and then he'll head back down. And yeah, those are the main ones that I'm going to have my eyes open for.
Marko, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Here we go. Super chat, Rick Bengal. He did it again, Rick Bengal, with a great spread shot of the Hockey Nation Live Show. Thanks so much for Rick for this. And before that, Marko, how do you like Chris Letang on the practice today?
That was amazing. He tried to sneak in there, did he?
Who you want to go to watch, Mr. Marko?
Well, listen, I think Enortap covered most of that, so I won't add too much more. I think it's pretty obvious. You're gonna really closely watch our top 5 overpick Reinbacher and see what he looks like in that kind of environment for sure. And everybody's curious to see Mayu. We didn't really get to see him last year in the camp, and yeah, like Heineman. I foresee that the big battle, not necessarily in the rookie camp, but in the overall camp, is going to be between Heineman and Ylonen for a roster spot, right? So I think that's probably going to be the biggest battle to look out for. So Heineman he has a little bit of, I guess, an unfair advantage compared to Ylonen because he'll have a little bit momentum, some games under his belt going into the camp. So Ylonen is going to be in tough, man. I don't know. It's a bit of an advantage for Ylonen because he has to go through waivers, but we'll have to see how it works out. I was a little nervous last year because Beck did so well during the camp. Sometimes you see players take a bit of a step back, in the second camp like that. So I'll be curious to see if Beck can kind of keep his level at the same level that he did last year. But yeah, like I'd agree with most of kind of what Enortap said there. Those are the key guys to watch.
Yeah, great comment for each one of them. With some of you guys about that. Look, Montreal Canadiens, it's a new phase, right? Where last season, with injuries, everything, they open up more spot, and a guy like Jakai came from nowhere to elevate the, the prestige of the rookie camp last season, and the performance of Winbeck was the two big situations during those camp and then the main camp. This season, I think it would be more about see the highlights of fan players, what they developed, what they learned for the last 12 months. Now, can Owen Beck repeat consist what he did? And then for me, Emil Henneman is really one because the closest plus I feel right now to play with the Montreal Canadiens is really Emil Henneman, where I feel like he's really one door to go through, and then he's going to be a part of the roster for the Montreal Canadiens. Unfortunately, we all know, without injuries, Montreal Canadiens did not make a lot of change on the roster for the upcoming season. They're already 14 contract. So whatever they do to impress the Montreal Canadiens staff management and the coaching staff, I don't think it would be enough for them to make the roster for the upcoming season. But I think it would be good as Habs fans to see what they look like and where they are and what kind of player they're going to become with the Montreal for sure. I think for me, not only this, I think this is a time for Habs fans. I think Marko and Enortap, you'll be agree with me, is the transformation now to follow not only the Montreal the shape, but follow the Laval Rocket, where they have about like 10 to 12 rookies now. Some of them going to play a part of the Montreal Canadiens the next 3 years, so it'll be fun to watching the Laval Rocket. By the way, I invite both of you and everybody in the chat, the next 3 days, I'm going to make a video for all the leagues around the world to see the prospect 2024, and then all the league, you're going to see which website you can watch the game live free. This is a big video to learn a little bit more how you can follow the players, how you can you can look about the prospect, their stat, everything like that. Is a little bit a project I was trying to create this or give a little bit more information. So sometimes people said, but where I can watch the game live online? You can pay some service really cheap, like Flow Hockey example. Flow Hockey carry on many European website, European League and the CHL. So you can go for pay one membership for the year, and you can get the WHL, CHL, and the AHL. The WHL and QM. So with a Flow Hockey, you can get other league and other cities in North America. Then American Hockey League, they have their own live stream. And then the East Coast Hockey League is under the Flow Hockey. So you have many areas you can follow your prospect. I think that's a great way to learning more about the Montreal Canadiens prospect. Anything you want to add, both of you, before we move on?
Yeah. One guy that we didn't mention, and maybe that says a lot, is Machar, right? Like Machar, he needs to have a strong rookie camp, right? Like I think we're all pretty much automatically placing him in Laval, but it's not out of the question. Like if he doesn't really show that he's ready for that, it's not impossible that he could go back to the OHL, right? So he needs to have a good camp. Like he didn't have a great year, so he's, it's his second camp. He should have a little bit more experience, should be a little less nervous. So he should be somebody that pops in the tournament because he's got 1 year experience, and so he'll be interesting to watch too.
Great comment about that. I just picking up everything here. Tony the Tiger, Tony the Mark is in the house. Welcome in the house. Steve G, I think I forgot him earlier, guys. I apologize. Welcome back. And Frankie is in the house tonight. Frankie, thanks. And Frankie is become a regular, guys, on this show. So we appreciate a lot. Don't forget to click on that. Jeremy Allah. Jeremy back in the house tonight. We miss you, buddy. Hopefully you're doing well. Glad you nicked the door. for that one. Rick continues to make some great comments with Gary Conroy. He talk about stubble for Gary Conroy. I tried to pick it up everything in the chat if we have any comments or any. If you have any question, guys, the easy way to look for your question, don't forget put the little Q. If not, I try to not too much read all the comments in the chat, but continue to talking about the subject. So if you don't mind, that'd be awesome.
Coach.
To do that. That'd be great. And then I will answer to your question or your comments in the chat directly when Marko et Enortap talk about this. Martin Bazinet est de retour avec nous, ladies and gentlemen. Martin Bazinet is in the back in the house.
Welcome.
William,
Coach, I do have a question
about this, and then Rick Bengal's Riley Kidney, by the way. It's a player I don't have no attraction. Yeah. I don't know what you think about with Riley Kidney.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they fall by the wayside. Like even some of the players we didn't mention, obviously, like Farrell and Raw, I think does have a future with us at some point. Hopefully within the year. I mean, Struble, I would love to see him up here, but again, it's a logjam right now, and there just isn't a space. But Marko spoke to this last week, and he said, and I agree 100%. Like, it's a good sign when we're omitting certain people, because it means that we're building up that cupboard of prospects and draft picks, and when the time comes, probably we'll have to overpay to address some of the needs that we might have on the team. And this is the way you do it. You throw in a player and a pick like this with to address those needs, and the team will move forward that way. And you do this for that exact reason. Because if you look at all the prospects that we have, I mean, there's no way that all of these guys are ever going to be on the team, as we know. And I just do have one question for you, Coach, as well. I'm kind of curious, why was Adam Engstrom not invited?
Because he played with his team over there, with his team. And Sweden. And I believe the Sweden is already started the season, where at 99.9%, I'm pretty sure, versus the Swiss team. David Rebacker is not on the season yet.
It hasn't started. Yeah, that makes sense, because he was another one that I was kind of looking forward to seeing after last year's performance.
That's that's the reason why Mr. Enortap is already read my clips before he want to talk about that one over there. So, but it's a great question about that for sure. You want to add something in that, Marko?
No, yeah, I think it will be fun to see Engstrom again. Like, again, the kind of unheralded prospect. And for Hudson, like, as we know, he's still in the NCAA, so it's not, you're not able to join a professional camp when you're still an amateur player, right? So that's why he's not at the camp. But it would be fun. It would be a lot of fun. I think. Would you guys say that if Hudson was in the camp, he would be the guy that everybody would be watching, even above Ryan Bacher? I think he would steal the show. I think we'd be talking about
possibly.
Yeah.
That a great comments in the chat. Another great question about this. Before we move on, we welcome back Mr. Maurice Robillard, my neighbor in Thailand. Is in the house. Welcome back. Gary is in the house. Thanks for what is so great in the chat. And I really now we will get more people, right? They answer each other. Martin asked a question. You have like Rick, Gary, and many other answer back. For that, that's awesome. We have John Grega, guys, knock the door. Welcome back, John Grega. Thanks for be with us tonight. A long time. If I did not mention your name, guys, we apologize. Sometimes the feed is fast, and I try to listen in Enortap and Marko. Sometimes I don't listen too much. I just watch what's going on in the chat. But yeah, my third year in the back about that. But that's what I got. So thanks, everybody. to be a part of the show. That'd be awesome. Yeah, our at rookie camp are not there. We're Engstrom, Hudson, and then to honestly, all the players are in the NCAA are not there, and then you have the player already start the season are not there, and the player playing the KHL are not there with the Montreal Canadiens and many others with the junior too. They don't want to consider. The only really is there is Guindon and Jakai already play right now in their own league, and the Witchell are with the Montreal Canadiens for the training camp. So. It's sad to not have Adam Engstrom to be a player in Lane Hudson, but it's maybe 1 year before they come back. Vessel Rover is another one. He's not there this year with the Montreal Canadian camp for that. So that's pretty much what we got for the rookie camp. Anything you want to add about the camp, or you want to add more? Like it's only the first day. You have some testing happening today. You're going to be on the ice. Maybe you can resume, if you don't mind, GF. And it's funny because I did not know, Marko, you was watching the press conference, Montreal Canadiens. And then I chat at the same time. I was texting me and back and forth in Enortap about I was watching the press conference too. But maybe give us a resume what Jean-François Hull said and Marko, and then in Enortap, if the only way you understood it was Kelly Butchberger, the rest you don't understand anything.
I understood a little.
But maybe talk about Kelly Butchberger, ex-Edmonton Oilers. So many people don't know he is an assistant trainer or assistant coach with the Laval Rockets since last year. So anyhow, Marko, you can talk about resume about Jeff François Hull et Laperrière yesterday, this morning.
Martin.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I think they do this every year. So for those of you who don't know, it's not Martin Saint-Louis and the Montreal coaching staff that actually manage the scrimmages and the games, right? It's the AHL coaching staff that takes care of the rookie tournament, which makes a lot of sense. So every year when they start the rookie, tournament, then GF Wood, it's a great opportunity for him to step up and, it's a good opportunity for him to talk directly to the fans, lay out kind of what his plans are for Laval for this year. So similar to what you said, like you can see the whole coaching staff is pretty excited, for this year's team. Like Enortap said earlier, they recognize that they have a very, very young team this year, and it might be a bit of a slow start for them. But similarly to the rest of the organization, the buzzword is development, right, and progress. So Jean-François knows very well that his role is to develop players. That's first and foremost of what his role is. But what I liked is that he did talk about he sees the value in creating a winning environment for that development to happen. So I like Jean-François Hull. Like I think he does a good job down there. He said that he really much appreciated the patience and the support that he's getting from management. Like they haven't gotten last year. They had a bit of a rough start to the season, Laval, but then they really kind of kicked it up a good notch towards the end. I was really impressed with Martin Laperrière, actually. Like it's the first time I really have seen him. But I was pretty impressed with him. Like he's expresses himself really well. Seems to pay a lot of attention to the details of the game, and seems to really genuinely care about the development of the players. So you can see that those young guys are under good hands down there for sure. I'll let Enortap talk about Buckberger. The only thing that I found funny about Buckberger is that he kept calling RHP HP, like HP sauce. So I thought that was funny. But what about Buckberger?
Yeah, well, but before Buckberger, it was funny at the end when Martin Laperrière ended the discussion and he said, "What? No questions in English?" I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I thought that was a neat moment. But with Kelly, the interesting thing, and he made this mistake a couple times, he referred to them coming back to the team, and he used Edmonton instead of Montreal. So I think the chat was in a bit of an uproar there for a while. But I think he really emphasized the whole stress around the development aspect of it and what his role was with it as well. I had forgotten that they hired him last year, to be honest with you. It totally slipped my mind until I saw him at the press conference.
He's
and
old,
and
man. He's not old.
he does. At first I hadn't recognized him, without the hair
Yeah.
and the flowing
Yeah. Is that the
hair that he
Jofa
had.
helmet? Did he have like a
That's
Jofa
right.
helmet? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. But again, nothing we didn't know in terms of what their plans are. But it was good to hear that the focus was to give these guys an opportunity. Like he stressed that a lot of them are coming in and they do have already their paths set up. Like some are going to be returning to NCAA, some are going to be going to Laval, some are going to be overseas, as we mentioned earlier. But there's a handful that, like he talked about how Jacky came out of the blue last year, and they said, what enabled him to sort of make the team, and he said, have you looked at him? and it was amazing. Like he came out, he played within himself. He wasn't trying to be something he was not, and he didn't go off the charts in terms of trying to overly impress. He played his game, and that was it. And it, as it turned out, with injuries and with the fact that we were rebuilding, it opened up a spot for Jacky, and now it's there for him to maintain. So it was good that he reiterated the whole developmental process for me.
Another cool thing with JF Ul is that I didn't even know this, but he was drafted, I guess, by Montreal in 1997. And he talked about how he remembers his first camp, and they didn't have a rookie camp. You just went directly into the main camp. So I think all of them mentioned how good of a development it's been. It's not just Montreal that does this, but overall the evolution of the training camp to allow for a rookie camp for rookies to have a little bit more opportunity to kind of get their feet wet before they jump into the main camp. But imagine how intimidating it must be just to kind of arrive, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by professional hockey players. So it can be pretty intimidating, right? So it was cool. It's similar to Martin Saint-Louis, how he can be engaging with his players because he can relate to almost every player that has played, whether it's a superstar, somebody that's been on the fourth line, whatever. Same thing with JF Wood, right? It's a really nice attribute for somebody who has been to a Montreal Canadiens camp before. So, good for him. He's able to impart that own personal experience and try to help players make the next step.
Yeah, great comment, both of you. I think, I had to teach a lot of the life coaching stuff and about mindset, everything like that. We never talk a lot about the pressure, the anxiety they have, the worries they have to get caught, and the reaction, how they respond. And this thought, like, son, they are 5 years old, right? They go to the youth travel, and then they don't make the double A. You don't make the double B and then double C and then whatever they are, right? Triple A, double A, some kind of frustration. And then you go that level where the finalists get smaller and smaller. And I would take example like Mazar, where is honestly, he knows he's not going to make the NHL, but he's really targeting to be in the American Hockey League. And if ever it does not work, and he have to go back in the OHL, how devastating is going to be for him. And so all put together, when you come there for the first time, it's not easy, and you want to perform at your best. And maybe you have the first 2 days, you don't play at the level you should be. It's a lot of mindset, really difficult sometimes for some players. So yes, you're absolutely right, Marko. Want Jeff Old talk about that side of the game for some players at this camp. So we want to welcome a couple of people. Knock the door. Thanks to be with us. Don't forget, to click on the like. Mr. R, but we call him Mr. JR for what we said to us. Welcome in the house. Thanks to be a part of the show. We appreciate a lot. WST, knock the door. Thanks so much to be a part with our show tonight. And anybody have any questions, don't forget to click on the like. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. Next, move on a
Mm,
bit. We have a couple of news we can talk about this, guys. And we know it was Monday, and we know we did not see Marko, and maybe barely. I don't think so. In our tap, it wasn't the chat, but Nata was not there. Just like 1 minute each. And then the reason I want to review the golf tournament, guys, because I would like to hear from you. If something you really little bit pay more attention, the comments for the staff management of the coaches or the different players. Marco.
yeah. So everybody, the big buzzword across most of media and all the fans were talking about the P word, and all that. So I'm not going to cover all that. I think every media outlets talked about that at nauseum. To me, the thing that stood out the most about the golf tournament was Martin Saint Louis. He was on his game more than we love Gordon. He's funny, and Kent Hughes was good, but man, you can tell Martin Saint Louis is ready. He was sharp, ready to answer questions, and I loved his approach on some of the answers. Right, like in particular, and we've talked about this just like over the last couple of weeks about how this year is all about accountability and learning to play the right way. And the thing that I almost kind of stood up in my seat and started clapping when you said this is we can't get fooled by results necessarily. Remember we were having that debate, Enortap, you were saying that they had
Yeah.
such a good beginning to the year, and I was like, there's kind of smokes and mirrors, right? Like they're winning because of
Yeah.
goaltending and like getting wins. So I love that Martin St. Louis specifically said, like, we have to win every day. And what he meant by that is not necessarily win a game, but we have to win the day. And I love that mentality, right? Like and he's talked about this before. Every day is a new day, and you have to find a way to win that day. And winning that day means that you might have lost the game, but you played the right way, or you were able to implement one of the things that they're trying to get you to do as a young player developing on the team. So to me, I found that super reassuring because usually coaches are, and this is the part of the business, right? Coaches are paid to win. So they're 100% focused on wins. And that's normal. But in this environment, Martin Saint Louis has a little bit more permission and he's obviously been given the mandate to focus on development. So I love that he's not going to get fooled by a 3-game winning streak where we're spending like 80% of the time in our zone, and we just had a really high shooting percentage and we win 3 games in a row. Who cares about that shit? We don't care if we win 3 games in a row. We want to make sure that we're playing the right way, and the young players are actually committing to the way we're going to want to play in the future. So I found that was the highlight of the whole thing. Martin Saint Louis, really, really impressive.
Yeah, it's about sustainability, and I think that's what he was striving at. Because if you can instill that right now, and you're taking those baby steps, and you're making the progression to the next step that you have to be at, it's going to be sustainable down the road for years to come. And it's then at that point you can focus on the actual results, and not so much the progression to that level. So that you're absolutely right, Marco. Like he really stood out in that regard. For me too, it was. I don't know if you picked up on it, but wherever you saw Martin St. Louis, Kent Hughes was with him all the time. I couldn't believe the number of selfies that they took together, and they were
They drove there together.
always,
They drove there
yeah,
together
they
too.
drove there together, and you rarely see that camaraderie between a
Yeah.
GM and a coach. At least it's not exhibited as we were seeing at the golf course there. So that's good to see, because to me it indicates that they're on the same page in terms of what they're trying to achieve, and the direction that they're taking. And once that's in place, the rest will fall. It will align with that as well. So for me, that was a great thing. The other thing was, I guess maybe we're going to be talking about it in a few minutes, but it was the assistant captain given to Matheson, which I thought was the perfect choice. Um, Simply because he comes in with experience, especially with a young defensive core. He's going to be our leader on the defense for sure this year again, provided he obviously stays healthy and plays a good number of games, and he loves being in Montreal, and that's the key thing. I know some people wanted Savard to be that, but given the fact that he only has 2 years left on his contract, that they're going to probably next year, around trade deadline time, are going to probably be looking to shed that contract as well. Whereas Matheson's going to be here for a little bit longer, in my eyes. And not just this contract, perhaps the next one as well, if he fits into their plans.
So,
Great
Coach,
comment, both of you, about Martin St. Louis, player management and management, everything like that. Thanks to remind us about Mike Madison and Enortap. He's a new assistant captain for the Montreal Canadiens for the upcoming season. But again, at the end of the day, I agree too with Marko. Like, the reason I watch a lot press conference for me is a coach's style, the way they talk, the way they think, the way they see the game. They have all the style, right? Martin St. Louis is calm. Try to teach us every time he talk behind the mic about hockey. If you listen about Sutter, Tortorella, or other player like that, it's a little bit like it's too much for them. It's too demanding for them to be behind the mic. And yeah, John Cooper is not another one you can learn. Betnar, if you watch a Betnar press conference, guys, you're going to be impressed the way he talk about the game. And I would suggest another one is Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, really smart hockey man, and that's the reason I try to catch up a lot of press conference for some coach to learn more. Anyhow, at the end of the day, Martin St. Louis bring a lot on the table, and we are really lucky as a Montreal Canadiens fan to have a coach like Martin St. Louis at this moment. And then they are all together. But if you think about their age, I think they are the same age, about approximately the same age. And they are really oriented family and very good people. Martin St. Louis can use at the end of the day. Let's move on with other things, if you don't mind, guys. A couple of things we can talk. We already hit the 10 o'clock. I'm glad we hit on we nailed the subject very well tonight so far. I know you talked about Carey Price earlier, but I want to go that direction. A new news get out today. I was watching, I don't know, I watched so many things about the fact like Carey Price is thinking when he will grow his family, a little bit like Martin St. Louis. Martin St. Louis disappear, and he really take care about his two boys to learn about, to play hockey on family level, everything like that. But now Carey Price want to grow his family, but he said he don't reject at some point to play a specific role in NHL with the Montreal Canadiens or any other things, like maybe a coach, whatever it is. He does not know. But that reminds me a lot Patrick Roy. Patrick Roy has been a solid goaltender in NHL many years with Montreal before he moved to Colorado Avalanche, and now been for QM for many years with the Quebec Remparts. Do you see Carey Price to be the same kind of path at some point, second career, after he decide to be retired, when he's going to become retired? Do you see that kind of Patrick Roy direction, or do you feel more like Martin Brodeur, where it's more about the staff management? So let's start with Marko. 1 minute each, we can move on. I don't want to pass my night about Carey Price, but I think it was a good subject when he was get out on the social media today.
I'm not going to need a minute for this one, Coach. I don't have a strong opinion, to be honest. Like I said earlier, I'm kind of priced out, to be honest. So short answer is no. I don't see him being anything close to Patrick Roy. Like, I don't think he's as passionate about hockey in that way than Patrick Roy is. Like, I think he loved playing hockey and he loved the competition of playing hockey. So, maybe in the future, I think you're right. Like, his main priority right now is spending time with his family. And, he's going to fulfill his obligations to the club since he's still under contract. But that's pretty much all I have to say about it, to be honest. Who knows? Enortap, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, I don't see him really pursuing the game to the same extent that Patrick Roy has sort of done so far and will continue to do so. I think he's in a very difficult predicament right now. Like, he's officially a part of the team, but he feels obviously like he's not contributing because of his injury, and so it's a different kind of situation. So he's looking to give back to the team in any fashion he can, and we saw that last year a little bit when he worked with some of the goalies. And I suspect, as long as the need is there, he's more than willing to help out whenever he can, and that makes him feel like he's still a part of that team. But when that contract's over, I think he'll ride off in the
He's got the
sunset.
cowboy hat, right? So let him.
He's got the cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat.
He's got the arm with the horses. So
Yeah, let him ride off in the sunset. I love Carey
yeah,
Price. Like,
yeah.
he,
Me too.
most
Me
of
too.
my adult life, he was just like starting goalie. So I'll always have a huge place in my heart for Carey Price. But man, I think, guys, we can just move on and let the poor guy just go fishing, and that's really what he really wants, I think.
Yeah.
I predict Carey Price be with the Montreal Canadiens one in the next 7 years.
All right.
It'll be
Carey
interesting to
Price,
see.
you're going to see that.
I hope we don't talk about it until then.
I like Carey Price. I really,
Don't
guys,
worry.
the guy
I
go
like
with
Carey
mental
Price.
illness. He gave
Oh
a
yeah,
lot
yeah. I think
in
we all
return.
do.
He's embraced more the moment after a big conversation with Ken Dryden, and you can see compared to Shea Weber, he gave back to the Montreal Canadiens. So for me, many athletes don't do that. They just disappear with nothing. He thanks, and you can see a new Carey Price for the last 12 months, for my opinion. Yesterday was amazing. We see a new Carey Price happy about himself, and that's for me is very important to give back. And I think that's
It still
for
eats
that.
him up, though.
We have a few people in
It
the
still
chat
it eats him
want to
up,
talk
Coach.
about this. Um, he want this question because we talk about Patrick Roy. I think it's a big story. Carey does not have an NHL job. Who would be the first NHL coach fired, and could Patrick be brought and whatever is the year 2024? Enortap, do you expect them to be there?
I mean, I would worry in terms of coaching job. I would worry if I was in Ottawa, because they can ill afford to get off to a slow start for a fourth year in a row. And if that's the case, I think you're gonna see a coaching change happen quicker than later. That's the main area I look at. The other ones, there's a lot of new coaches that have been assigned as well, or have moved teams either last year or the year before. So I don't suspect, unless the wheels fall off on a team right away, that you're going to see a big change.
You said it, man. Like, I just don't see how DJ Smith gets away with another slow start in Ottawa. So he would be number one on the ejectable seat list for sure. I would love to see Patrick Roy be the coach of the Ottawa Senators. I think they need something sexy like that for that marketplace. I don't know how well that would work with Pierre Dorion. Pierre Dorion seems like a guy that likes to control things pretty tight to the vest. I don't know how collaborative he is with his coaching staff, and I get the sense that Patrick Roy, obviously has a reputation for somebody who would want to be a player or like a coach GM kind of guy. I don't think you'll ever see that in the NHL ever again. Like the Mike Keenan, Bob Gainey days are kind of over. Jacques Martin, I think, might be the last guy, or no, I guess Sutter would probably be the last guy that did that. But I don't know. It would be super fun to have Patrick Roy.
But Marko, don't you see Patrick Roy fitting the character of the players that are starting to develop in Ottawa right now? Like it almost seems like a seamless fit.
It would be great.
And
I just I would definitely make that happen. It would make watching Ottawa even that much funner to do. So I'm all for it, Coach. Like if we can get Patrick Waugh in Ottawa, whoever suggested that, sign me up.
Yeah. I know I will surprise you, but do not discount Bill Guerin when the Minnesota Wild to fire Dean Avison.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
Dean
yeah,
Evison. Like he's done a lot with. I think he's done a lot with what he has there.
Yeah.
He's a pretty resourceful guy. He seems like his players are really play hard for him. He's a bit psychotic though. Like I love how crazy his eyes get. He has like kind of a Martin Saint Louis thing going on with his eyes when he gets angry. But something about that 1986 Hartford Whalers team, like there's a lot of coaches and analysts that came from that team. Kevin Dineen, Ron
yeah.
Francis, Dave Tippett, Ray Ferraro is a huge analyst now. Where's Mike
Ferraro,
Liut?
yeah.
What happened to Mike Liut? Isn't he? Is he somewhere doing something important or what?
He's still an agent now.
Mike Liut? See,
Oh,
there
is
you
he
go.
an agent?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
We should do a
Frank,
show. We should do a show on the 1986 Hartford Whalers. A
most of
specific.
them, although effects, always they've been involved with hockey after the career. If you look about the
Yeah,
lineup,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
otherwise, Il Samuelson, coach, assistant coach in NHL, he can look about all the roster there. Ron Francis, everybody. It's impressive
Yeah.
when you think about that.
Claude Lemieux ruined it for all of them, though.
Yeah. Frankie, I have a question for you guys. Do you think Primo will be claimed at the waiver after the camp?
I don't think so. I don't think he would because whoever would have to claim him, they would have to be committed to having him as their second goalie. I don't see anybody in the NHL evaluating him as somebody who's ready to be a backup in the NHL. Maybe if they're desperate enough, but I don't know. I would probably say 70% chance that he would pass waivers unless somebody was in really, really dire need. But so everybody understands, if somebody claims Primo, it means that they have to keep him in his lineup. They can't just claim him and send him back to the AHL. So if you're claiming Caden Primo, it means you want him to be in your lineup. So if there's any NHL team that has evaluated him as being an NHL goalie and ready to play that role, then good luck to you.
And after that, I don't know if you heard about the comments of Stephen Waite about the fact the real comments, the real captain is not Suzuki but Gallagher. And he thought about this for the comments for the ex-assistant goalie coach for the Montreal Canadiens. Stephen Waite said the real captain is Gallagher.
Well, there's a bit of a change in the approach in which captains are taking nowadays, right? I understand what his point is, and definitely Gallagher is the engine that drives this team. He's the heart of the team, regardless of whether his play has gone down or his productivity has gone down over the last 2 or 3 years because of injuries. I mean, this guy loves being in Montreal, and every shift he gives his utmost. So I understand where he's coming from, but I think in today's NHL, a lot of the younger players, and you look around in Ottawa, you look around a few other young teams, like it's the young upcoming stars that are taking on that responsibility
Not in
and
Winnipeg.
that leadership role.
Winnipeg.
Not it.
Yeah.
Well, with Lowry, I mean, Lowry obviously is. I mean, how old is Lowry now? I think he's
28.
26 or
28.
28.
No, he's got
Yeah.
probably. I don't know for
Well,
sure.
I think with Winnipeg,
Which one you talk about?
Dave Lowry?
Lowry in Winnipeg.
Okay, yeah.
He became captain, but I mean, you look at Kachuk in Ottawa, young, right? You look at even in, I mean, Toronto right now has obviously.
Morris?
Yeah, but I mean, it could have easily been Matthews at the time if it wasn't going to be Tavares, but I think that was part and parcel to getting him here, anyways. But a lot of teams, I think that's the direction that they've gone, And I understand that too. I personally would prefer somebody that has had a few years under his belt and has sort of already been acclimatized to the team and the community, because it goes outside of the team too, right? You have to be involved. And you look at somebody like Suzuki, and you know, I mean, so far he's saying the right things and doing the right things, which I applaud him for. Um, but you wonder how many young players today are actually equipped to take that responsibility onto their shoulder, and I don't think there's that many.
No, like this is all it's all by committee now too, right? Like, Suzuki he's been very vocal that, last year he was heavily reliant on Edmondson and Savard. He probably underestimated a little bit what it was like the social component of, being a gatherer of all the guys and everything. Like, so, I think, he has the right commitment to the role. And I think that's really what you want, is somebody that's committed to taking it on and getting better every year at being a leader on the team. But while we're on this topic, one thing we didn't get a chance to touch on about the golf tournament was the I guess the kind of disparity between the message from the team and some of the key veteran players, and it was very positive. So the entire management team was very kind of, their objective was to put zero pressure on the players by saying it's a development year, we're not saying the P word and all that, right? But then you had Gallagher, Anderson, Suzuki. Those are the three that come to mind that openly said, no, our goal is to make the playoffs, right? So that's how it should be. The players should be committed to and focused on winning and trying to win. So to me, the reason I bring that up is that it's a good representation that, whether that message came from Gallagher or not, I suspect Gallagher is probably the one that said that first, or talked to Suzuki about saying that. But what's good is that you can see they're working as a team, and they had the same messaging group of players, right? And that's the beauty of the Montreal Canadiens, guys. Like, say what you will, some people think it's fake, but as somebody who works like in the corporate world, it's pretty impressive to see the finesse in which their PR department, how their communications team puts all this together, right? Like briefing all the players before the golf tournament and all that. Like, it's really well done. Their messaging was on point during the golf tournament. And the reason I bring it up is specifically the question about Suzuki's leadership. You can see they're working as a team. Like, they're saying the same stuff. So yes, Gallagher is a big voice in the team, but that doesn't necessarily make that Suzuki the wrong choice to be the captain long term. It just
Exactly.
means that Gallagher is
Exactly.
he's an important guy on the
Yeah.
team, and we don't need like, I don't know why we pit people against each other like that. Like, nobody's perfect. No, like nobody. It's not just on one guy. It's a team of people. Like, there's a leadership group, and Suzuki's the poster boy, and that's what being the captain is nowadays.
And he's an assistant captain anyway, so
Yeah, yeah, for
I
sure.
could um, I could talk about all night about leadership, about
yeah.
the leadership, right? They have one captain and your team, right? But we should have all 23 captain and the team. Everyone should bring their leadership. I'll give you an example. I read about the fact, like, after the season, Ken Hughes went to the dinner with Kirby Doc, and they
Yeah,
sit together and they talk
yeah,
about Doc to carry on the leadership to the youngest. When he talked
yeah,
that way, he said the leadership's not coming only from the older player. And when he's targeting exactly what you said, Sabal, Anderson, Gallagher, but he
yeah.
won the transition for the youngest players. But Doc playing in NHL for 5 years now,
5 years.
right? He
Yeah,
asked
hmm
this question: what did you enjoy the most? What's something you really love with the Blackhawks, and one thing you did not enjoy the most, right? And
yeah,
then he said, "This is the time now at your age and for the upcoming season to carry on this to teaching the newcomer, the new people show up with the Montreal Canadiens, and the youngest player would be part of the team." So what he tried to do is to teaching at young age to learning about what it takes to become a great leader inside the locker room. And it's not about
Yeah.
the age. It's about your behavior, your mindset, how you be, how you composure with the pressure, everything like that, and you prepare them to come in. I would say, example, what Slavkovsky said to Rebecca: don't listen to anybody. Don't look about anything else. But back to Doc. Doc, he said to Doc, he said, look, he said, my first year I was with Brent Seabrook, and I stayed there. I said this was my best. This was the best thing happened to me to learning to become a leader in a NHL one day. And then those situations, he said how I respond with my injury, how I did not act very well. I got frustrated. I didn't understand what I can take advantage of when you're hurt to become better as a hockey player, as a pro. And all the little details, how you go to the gym, what you the nutrition, recovery time, and I can go all the way like that. So could be that got that kind of message for
And then, coach,
use,
don't
and
forget.
just reflect what you just said in Marco, the
Yeah.
transition of the young core from the old core and to prepare for the rest for the next 2-3 years. I thought it was really nice for him to hear that.
Yeah. And don't forget, then you're 100% right. And I'm glad you brought it up. It's something I forgot to mention. And then don't forget, Doc actually called Kent Hughes back and told him, "Thank you for putting me onto that frame of thought." And then he came up with all these ideas, right? So you can see that they were very engaged on that. And Doc was another one of the players who was talking about playoffs, right? So you can see he's going to be part of that leadership group. You mentioned Slavkovsky, coach. We haven't really talked about him during the golf tournament. I have a question for you guys. Like, did you like? So there's one question that they asked him, which was, it was a very good question. It was like, if you could go back and give yourself advice, knowing what you know now, last year, what advice would you give yourself? And his answer was, I don't know, just believe in yourself more. It was an okay answer. But I think this is something that I would ask in an interview. Like if I'm interviewing someone, is like, because it's kind of a question to see if somebody can self-evaluate or be thoughtful about their own progression, right? And if they're thoughtful,
Reflective.
reflective about things, right? And I was a little concerned with his response. Like, I know for me, for sure, like if I had the opportunity and go back 1 year and give myself advice, I'd have like 5 things right now that I know for sure I would want to tell my past self to do differently, right? I think that would be an amazing opportunity. So I know what you guys thought about his answer. Like I think his answer was believe in yourself more, but it wasn't very convincing. Like you can see, I was a little nervous because it doesn't sound like he's somebody that is that reflective about himself. I don't know. It made me a little bit nervous, his
You know what?
response.
It's funny you talk about this, and I did not think that way. But I'm sorry, Enortap, if I jump right away because it remind me one thing. More you talk right now, I feel like I review my the interview, right? And when you're nervous, you smile like like you act differently, right? I see a guy nervous at the podium that day, and I would say to you, and the reason I would say the thing, Marco, is because I feel the same way like him sometimes earlier in my life. Now I don't really care, but because you don't know too much English, you worries about someone will ask you a question you don't understand, and then you a
Mhm.
little bit worry about what will be your answer. That's the feeling
Okay,
I
that's
got.
fair.
I don't want to defend him,
Lost.
but that would
That's
be
fair.
my
That's fair.
my way I would say that because sometimes I'm always worried about things like that when I would do some things more specific, more deep. Here I don't, you know.
Yeah.
But I just
I
give you
hope you're
another
right.
example about this. But I
That's
can
fair.
understand your point of view, Marco, when you talk about uh, maybe not confirm, like not like firm, like no, it's this and this and this. I don't know if
Well,
Inalta
it's not
want to
even.
add something.
Yeah, it's not even really being firm. It's more, and I hope you're right, Coach. Like that. That's a very good point. And often we probably underplay the impact that language has, and like that. It's something we should really keep in mind. So that's a really fair point. But I think a really important part, Coach, you'd agree, in improving is the ability to self-assess, right? So that's a really important part of getting better at something, is being able to self-evaluate. So let's hope that's something that he has in his toolbox. On the surface, the answer to that question wasn't super convincing, but maybe you're right. Sorry, go ahead, Enortap.
No, I was just going to say, Coach, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I was thinking exactly the same thing. Sometimes you lose the meaning in translation, and you're also afraid because you're trying to reflect on making the proper answer that you don't quite get the same meaning that you're intended to have come out at the time. So I think part of it may have been that. To me, last year, I mean, I don't see a player in Slavkovsky that lacks confidence, but I did see at some points last year that he was sort of on that track towards mid-season or so, just before the injury. He started to get a little bit better and it looked like he's getting that confidence back. But from everything I hear so far, like he went through a very rigorous training this summer, and he's had people that have assisted him in that. I really look forward to seeing what he brings to the table this year. And if he gets off to a quick start, I think that he's going to be definitely worth that first round pick that we spent on him.
In a way, it's too bad he's not in the rookie camp. Like, it would be nice to see him in the rookie camp. But
yeah.
Let's see what we got here, guys. I dropped a little bit the graphic over there. I don't want to pass our time on that one. It'll be a little bit more secondary show. I want to talk about, we heard today about Andrew Shaw and Piquet Subban. About that, I don't want to get there. But I want to give you two subjects before we move on. One subject, guys, about Martin Saint-Louis, but it's not for everybody. When I said that is we know what he accomplished behind the bench. We know how he's educated, teaching, and people, the player love him, and Anderson love him. But when you think about that, it's not easy to change a player north-south, play forward like Josh Anderson did during his first 7 years, example, in NHL. Now he tried to learn more for the other option he can learn from Martin Saint-Louis. My question to you is, you can see a new transformation of Josh Anderson. When he transformed from east to west, hold the puck a little bit longer, slow the game in front of you, check your option in front of you, everything like that, right? He played more defensive zone, he played on the PK, he take more responsibility. But at the end of the day, do you think his effect is really his strength about hit the guy in the corner, fight if you need that? Do you feel like it's another dimension of Josh Anderson? And my question is that, do you feel this is the best way, or do you feel you would prefer to not to do all the what you try to learn and to see the Josh Anderson we knew in the past? So let's go with Enortap first about this. And I know this is a question is pop up at you in front of you sometimes. You don't prepare for that. But
this is a good question.
It is. It is. It is a good question. And with Anderson, I think it's a combination of two things. He benefits from having somebody like Martin St. Louis, because the one asset that St. Louis brings to the table is he empowers his players. He says, play within yourself. He's not trying to subject them to a particular system and say, no, this is exactly what you need to do. You need to be in this role and that role. He says, rely on yourself. You have talent. You've come to this stage. Rely on that. And as he goes on, he also shows them that there's alternatives to their play. Now, from Anderson's perspective, we have a player here that is very accommodating to the fact that he wants to become a better player and he wants to be in Montreal. We didn't see that in Hoffman when he was here. Hoffman was very sort of set in his ways in terms of what he needed to do and where he needed to be placed, and otherwise he was moping around on the bench. And that's the negative aspect that you bring out in the team, that it definitely doesn't foster the growth that you need. So with Anderson, I'm seeing him wanting to do certain things, and and changing parts of his game, redefining how he's playing, but still within the parameters of where his assets are. Like he's a great shooter, he's a great skater, he brings the physical aspect to the game as well. But he's not just going north and south now. He's also trying to be a little bit more aware of lateral movement and trying to get to the net a little bit more often. And I think it's a combination of the two things: him wanting to change and also St. Louis allowing him to play within his own parameters.
Coach, this is a really good question. Maybe you'll actually even listen while I'm talking this time. I don't know. We'll see. But here's a good analogy for how I would describe this situation. So, Josh Anderson is a Motorola phone. Okay, if you have a brand new iPhone and you try to install Chat GPT on your brand new iPhone, it's going to work really well, right? It's going to, it's going to be fast enough. It's going to have the processing speed to run that application, right? And all the other new applications that you can download from the App Store, right? But if you download Chat GPT on your old Motorola flip phone, it might you'll probably be able to install it, but it's not going to run really well, right? So I think that's kind of what Josh Anderson is. He's a very dependable, utilitarian phone. I don't know how to move on from that analogy, but he's so yes, Martin St. Louis is very good at coaching these concepts to players and trying to get them to expand, but some players have more limitations than others, right? Josh Anderson's strength, like you said, Coach, his strength is skating in a straight line as fast as he can and being physical. And like I've joked around about this several times last year, he's kind of like an AI, right? Like he has 3 subroutines that are programmed into his brain: skate down the wing and shoot, and the other subroutine is hit, and then the other subroutine is skate down the wing, and if there's no shot, you go around the net and shoot. That those are the 3 subroutines that are programmed into his neural pathways. I don't know if you can install more. Like ChatGPT might not run very smoothly on that brain. So I don't know if that analogy makes sense, but Martin St. Louis programming will work really well with some players, but it might not work with. I think maybe that's what you mean, Coach. Right? Is there's certain
exactly.
limitations.
Yeah.
That was the point behind that. It's not for everybody because some are limited, right? They cannot. Some are have a great, example. Some players are really smart, right? They catch up. Some are visual, or some are more about action, with make action, take action. And then I would say to one thing example, like a guy like Jordan Harris, see the game differently, like Josh Anderson example. The game goes faster to Jordan Harris to understand, compared to Josh Anderson is slower. It's not say it's not smart, but he just not see the game different. He see the game differently to Jordan Harris. It's not all the teaching from Martin St. Louis would unfortunately benefit for all of them about that. You got to click very quickly with Cole Caulfield with Martin St. Louis, right? The tricks about that, because honestly, at the end of the day, the skill and the talent of Cole Caulfield is better to Josh Anderson, right? Josh, his hand is blocked more. I call this lock. It's difficult for him. He's not have a great hands, right? But I can go all the way like that. So,
and we're not shitting on Josh Anderson.
Talking about. Go ahead.
I don't want to make it sound like we're shitting on the guy either. Like he is.
No. We don't try that. The question is honestly the method or the teaching Martin St. Louis unfortunately cannot fit for all of them. Everybody's going to get like a student. Everybody's not get 90% whatever is the teacher in front of you, right? Some people have difficult time about that when you try to learn. So I think there was just a point like that. I don't know if you want to add something after before we move on to other things.
No, that's exactly it. Like I said, you look at somebody like Hoffman or Gurionov. I mean, they weren't as adaptable, and so it was a strained relationship at best. and it has to be amendable to the player wanting to change and improve his own game.
And the thing with like I think with Anderson, it's not that he doesn't want to. I think he has the will to do it versus somebody like Mike
But he
Hoffman.
can't.
Well, there'll be margin, like William. It's not like he can't do it at all. There will be a marginal improvement to it, but like Coach was saying, like as he's focusing on playing more left right, it's going to take away from his main strength, which is skating fast, creating space, being physical, right? So what you have to do as a coach is, if the player is going to improve, say by, let's use a numerical percentage. Let's say you can make him improve 25% in that way, then it's worth it because the player is expanding to the point where his overall game is going to improve. But if the player is only going to improve by 5%, but what he's good at decreases by 20%, the cost benefit is not worth it. Do you know what I mean? So for Anderson, I guess the question is the 5 or 8% that he's improving at expanding his game, is it worth it for him to not concentrate on what makes him an impactful player? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, great point about that. It's you try not decreasing your strength versus you're increasing your weakness, and that's the best thing to describe that one there. So I think it was some. Before we move on, we have Jose Duarte knock the door, guys, with Mikro Love Sharks. He's with us. During that time, we have a question from Frankie. A lot of rumors regarding Saint Louis. If Montreal trade Josh Anderson, the Smith versus the first round pick, do you think is it good for the Montreal Canadiens? So the deal, honestly, what I can understand is Montreal Canadiens get a first round pick for Josh Anderson and DeSmith.
Okay, so trading DeSmith and Anderson for a first round pick?
For the first round pick, yeah. I think regarding St. Louis, I think he talked about the team St. Louis. I can understand that part.
I might look at St. Louis. Yeah, I might. That's kind of a middling team, you know.
Yeah,
maybe that's like maybe 20th pick overall. It could be a 20 or 23rd pick overall. Maybe if things don't pan out, they have terrible goaltending, right, Coach?
Yeah, they have Bennington and the rookie offer over there. They don't have anything else behind that right now.
Are you choosing him in your pool again this year, Bennington?
No, honestly, it's not on my radar yet about that.
Okay.
But, we'll see if something could change right there.
Yeah,
it was a hurt one, that one, Bennington.
Yeah, that was pretty painful.
Did I keep him all the way? I think I did not. I removed him.
I think you did.
Tu l'as gardé toute l'année.
You just didn't play him at the end.
I might consider that deal because, but
too
overall,
high.
I don't know. I'm open to trading anyone, to be honest, really. But like we've talked about, I don't know if we need another 28th overall pick. It's not terrible to have.
Yeah.
We need elite. We need elite, right? So I'm more in favor of bundling assets and getting something really elite versus continuing to volume of assets. We already have that was the beginning of our show. We have too many assets. So we're going to have another 2 first round picks this year, one at 29, and we'll trade it for New Hook kind of play. I don't know. It's kind of the marché en place, right, Coach? Are we really advancing anything by trading Anderson for a 28th overall pick? I'm not convinced of that.
No, it doesn't do us any good, Marco. It's unless it's a bottom 5 or 6 team, and really those guys aren't in the habit of giving away their first round picks for players that are on in age now and will not be fitting their system down the road. So
barely a top 6 player, yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, and I wouldn't do it like you said for a 25th or a 28th pick overall. At this point, we have enough prospects. We have enough of our own picks that are in our system for the next 3 years. It's not worth doing.
And remember, they have 11 pick again this year.
That's insane, right, man.
So they're going to do at some point. You're going to trade that lower. I wouldn't be surprised when you do another thing like Alex Newhook, get a young players
Yeah,
in return, and they trade 2-3 pick in return. So I would not be
Jeez.
surprised to go
exactly.
that one with that.
And
I
I
think
was
at
shocked that
some
they did
point
all
we
their
said,
picks last year.
yeah, sorry I cut you. I was said, if ever you trade, it could be Anderson, whatever is the name you want to add, right? Montreal, if they do that, at least they have to be at least a minimum, not over 15. So between 1 to 15, I would consider, and I don't know the package deal, but I was looking about possible that way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Montreal, I
Yeah.
don't think so. They're looking for 20 to between 20 32 at that moment. I
No,
don't see
no.
that. At
I'm
least they
still
have
shocked that we did all
another way they will trade than 20 plus 29 that would drop at 14, 15, but I don't see that. I don't see that way. So, well, it's not about that. Abination is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Jake McHenry knocked the door. And the best statement of the night, guys, he deserves maybe the first star of the night. Anderson is the pretty girl in the high school who forgot to develop her personality. About that one over there. So, pretty good about that one over there. A lot of people in the chat try to pick up everything else. And that'd be good. So that's what we got here. We have something else? I want to say something. I don't know. We're going to finish
Oh
with
boy.
that part over there, if you don't mind.
Okay. On finit pas fort, le coach, talking
We
about the
finish
Habs power
strong
play.
because when I won my point behind the Montreal Canadiens, and I don't want to get there tonight. That will be my subject for next week. Not many people believe on the. I still believe Montreal will be bottom 5. And the reason why is because the power play and the special team is not good. But if you have the team right now, and we know approximately who's going to be in the team, right? We can patch up with maybe Allen, Eneman, whatever you want to add there. But if you start tonight, the first game, and you are in charge of the power play, what is a power play? Do you use Monahan, Zuski, Doc? No, I'm sorry. It's Monahan, Doc. I don't put Doc there. I'm sorry again. Monahan,
What?
Zuski, and Caulfield, and then you add Cooley and Madison. My point behind
What?
that is do you think you should go with 1-4 or 2
Yeah.
and 3?
Yeah,
I think you
1-4.
load up your first unit. Like my first unit is
Yeah.
Suzuki, Caulfield, Monahan, Doc, and Matheson. That's my first unit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
The thing behind that is because what happening with that is the reason. Remember, Caulfield scored, I think, 1 goal last year in power play. They don't write the right defenseman. If they can develop Logan Mailloux and David Rebacker as the right defenseman to play on the unit of power play, that will feed exactly Cole Caulfield we need. The reason behind that, right? Every defenseman, they have a good right shooter. Example like Ovechkin. If you look about Ovechkin, he was feed by who? First, Mike Green right defenseman. If you look about
Hedman,
Ovechkin,
Stamkos.
it was feed now by who?
Carlson.
John Carlson, right defenseman.
Carlson.
Hedman and Stamkos, but you also have Kucherov in the Stamkos. You know.
Yeah, about that. But for the tempo, it's funny when you think about this, right? I would love to see a research about how many goals Stengos did on the one timer versus the stack two between Kelon, Kisharov, and Point. I think it would be approximately 50-50, targeting more like Ovechkin. One is coming only for Ovechkin over there. But I think that's the point we can see about that part. Mark D99 is in the house. Welcome in the house. Thanks to be with us. And that's pretty much what we got tonight, guys. I don't want to go too much deep about what is only the development camp start right now. We'll be back Sunday night for the Montreal Canadiens, talking about the shows called the weekly recap. We're going to see the first 2 games of the season of the rookie camp for the Montreal Canadiens at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And that's what we provide to you guys during the season, the Sunday and the Wednesday. We're going to give you more information about the app prospect all year long with the Laval Rocket. We're going to go a couple of games right there. And definitely we'll be back the next couple of nights. Like people in the chat, we ask you guys, don't forget to click on the like. I'm going to finish strong with the friendship quiz. Anything you want to add? Marko and Enortap, about the subject we talked tonight or not?
Yeah, I
No,
think
I
we
think we're good,
covered quite a
Coach.
few.
But next week,
Yeah.
it would be cool if we're talking about special teams next week. I think that would be good. I have a couple
Yeah,
things on
I
that.
didn't want to go just
Yeah.
open up the door about that tonight, and then I will
Yeah.
go for my bottom five. I believe Montreal going to get next season, but this is another subject one at a time. Here we go. We have the French quiz tonight, guys. And
Oh
first of all,
no, not
we want to
again.
give the leaderboard. Last night, with the only winner, King of Gamer, and he got the fantasy
Good winner.
guide for the upcoming season. And congratulations for Mr. King of Gamer. We did the same tonight, so hopefully he'll be back at some point. And that's what we got tonight. Let me pick up my all the sheet right there about that. And we are the 14, and that's why I've been only 3 questions tonight. We'll cut this very quickly, so you'll be sure the dog at Marko will be ready to go out at the end of the show for that one over there.
Perfect.
That's be the best way to do that. Good luck, everybody. Like you said, Abination. Gary
Gary's
is awake tonight.
Yes, he is. That means trouble.
Sorry about that. First question tonight. Which NHL rookie has the highest point per 60 in the last 5 years in NHL? Mr. Enortap, Mr. Marko, good luck, both of you. And I can wait to hear you answer the next 1 minute. Good luck, everybody. Just look at the right time.
And you mean points per 60 minutes?
Slavkovsky is in the house, by the way. Slavkovsky is in the house.
What's up, Zev? Do you mean the highest points per 60 minutes?
Per 60, yes. By 60 game, by 60, yes. 60 represent 1 game. Rudolph said B. Kaprizov. First one to answer tonight, Rudolph. The winner of the Fantasy Hockey Nation. We are back next year, guys. We start the season number 3. Year number 3 of the Fantasy Hockey. You can join us. Don't forget to click on the like. Luciano is going to provide us the next couple of minutes. Second answer tonight is coming for Jose Duarte, moderator of the Hockey Nation show with Danny and Luciano tonight. Congratulations. Luc Lafortune, go with Peterson. Wesh, go with B. We have A, B, C so far. 60 minutes of the ice time. Yes, Rudolph was said. Gary go with C with Peterson. Joe Manella go with B. Larry go with C. And do we have any other answer, guys? Frankie go with B with Kaprizov. So that time in our tap, you're the winner of the most of the show so far. What would be your first answer tonight? Claude Richard go with B.
I think I'm gonna go with I'm trying to think of how long
if you want help, Randy Walkman said A, and Andy Kuivolas said A.
Yeah.
If you want more, Leon Renault said A.
No, I don't think it's Robertson. I think I'm gonna go with Peterson. C.
Peterson, and during that time, Maurice Robillard said B. The Rain said B, and RJ become the first one said D, and nobody said E. Marko,
I'll go.
Are you going to follow?
Coach, I'll change to D. Boldy. I think it's Boldy.
All right.
I just want to clarify. So not over the last 5 years, but in their rookie season, the highest points per game in their rookie season. That's the question.
It's the no. It's
in the last
not
5 years.
Yes, in the last 5 years.
So who has the highest points per game over the last 5 years?
No, or as an NHL rookie. So when he was a rookie. All right.
In their rookie.
In the last 5 years. So any rookie in the last 5 years.
Got it.
Okay, that's different. Yeah. Okay.
So this is what, Coach, I think this is what I call one of your Sesame Street questions. One of these things is not like the other. The Marcirelli guy, like he's not the same kind of guy as the other one. So that's always intriguing when you do that. But I know Marcelli had a very strong rookie season, but I don't know. Like, I think I'm going to go with Enortap's original answer on this one and say,
yeah,
Mr. Peterson.
Yeah, I coach it. I understood the question a little bit differently. I was thinking of the last 5 seasons and thinking these guys haven't played most of them
So
5
the
years.
question at the end of the day, guys, is in the last 5 years, right? Which NHL rookie has the highest point per 60 minutes?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to Peterson as well.
All right. So, Marko, what is the answer?
Actually, while Enortap was saying that, I'm going to change my name and say B. Kaprizov.
Kaprizov now. So everybody send the answer on that one over there. If you are right now in the chat, you want to send your answer, you can change it. We don't charge you on that one half point. We're going to charge you the full point if you are right about that. I will give you about 20 seconds, guys. If you want to change your answer, that'd be good. No problem. Real deal, go with A on that one. And anybody, I understand, maybe confusing the question. So want to be sure you understand. In the last 5 years, any NHL rookie show up in NHL who has the highest higher point. How many times can we change, Andy? You can change right now. Not a big deal.
How many games did Marcelli play last year?
Randy go with B, Andy go with D, and that's what we got right now. And the final answer on that one, guys, after confusion, everybody.
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
Well, we have 3 winners, Andy Quivula and Danny T and RG. Take the lead on that one over there. Congratulations on all one over there. Mr. Enortap was your second option. Was confusing everybody about that one over there.
That was my first option. Never mind.
Hopefully, the question will be to be more easier for everybody. Let's go.
Sure. Famous last words.
Here we go. Which goaltender from the list below, 5 of them, is not among the top 5 with the most W at the 500 game mark in NHL? Which one of them are not there on the top 5 of the on this list? Right, on this list only. Right? Is it Martin Brodeur, Oldby, Anderson, Plant, or Moog? Or Moog. Andy Moog. Here we go. On that one over there, which one is not on the top 5 with the most W at the mark of the 500 game in NHL? Good luck, everybody.
Former Habs legend Andy Moog.
Yeah. RG said C. Rudolph said C. Jose go with E. Danny, you did well. I did not start the clock. We're going to start the clock now. Nothing too late to be late. We have only 3 answers so far. People are scared. Here we go. We have Randy Walkman as C. KLS with C. Triple W with E. Danny T go with Anderson is letter C. Real Deal go with B. Leon go with E. Claude Richard go with D. We wait for RG and ND. Luc Laforcine go with B. Larry Lavallée go with D. Joe Manella go with C. We miss Peter August tonight. One of them. And then anybody did not click on the like, we ask you to click on the likes. And so far, that's what we got. So answers during the time, we're going to go with Mr. Marko on that one.
So I don't know. There's 2 potential solutions here. So the one that sticks out is Anderson because, you know, the teams that he's played for, like he played for Anaheim, you know, hasn't played as much. He's been injured a lot. But then the other one, Jacques Plante, seems like it would be an automatic, but they used to play many less games, I think, in the 50s. So maybe he would have less total wins because he played less games than a lot of these guys. So I'm going to go, I think this is another coach trick here. I'm going to go with Jacques.
It's another coach.
D, Jacques Plante.
Jacques Plante, Mr. Enortap. During the time, Mr. Enortap, Frankie
I'm
said
gonna
E,
go.
Gary got CE, John Mayer
Thanks.
is a B, and Andy said A. I need help. You want to help in the chat? The people they give you answer, Mr. Enortap, to helping you.
No. I go off on my own, anyways. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with C. Frederick Anderson. Marko kind
See
of
with
had me
Frederick
convinced there
Anderson.
with
So the
his
question
argument.
was, who has the most W when they reach the mark of 500?
No, it's not
No,
among them.
which is
Which
not
one doesn't have?
which is not.
Who is not among, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's a
Right.
very different question. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Sounds good. Leon said D. Here we go.
Oh my God!
Martin Brodeur.
Wow, really?
Wow.
Yep.
That's surprising.
Who was the number one you think about that list?
It's probably Jacques Plante because that's what I.
No.
Old B.
That's what
Holtby,
really? Eh?
yeah.
Well, Holtby
That
makes
was-
sense.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
those Washington teams were like President Trophy winners,
Strong.
right?
Yeah.
If you remember a couple of maybe 1-2 weeks ago, I asked this question, but it's friendly. Who has the most W? I put 5 names. It was Old B at the game number 5. About that, and guys, on that
But
question, we have
whatever.
only good answer, and he is 2-2.
Yeah.
Is Andy Kouivula so far, and now Zev Lecab knocked the door with the A at the last minute. Question number 3, the last of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
It's surprising.
On
'cause,
peut say Enortap
well-
and Marko
New Jersey
can
was a good
win.
team, huh?
Danny can tie the game with RG only. Good luck, everybody.
Is this another recycled question, Coach, from a week ago?
yeah, probably.
Here we go. Question number 3. Which player below did not have 400 plus shot on the net in one regular season, ladies and gentlemen? Which one of them never reached a total of 400 shot in one regular season in NHL? Ovechkin, Stamkos, Pasnak, Yager, and Carey. That's the question of the last one of the night. Good luck, everybody. Here we go. We wait now for the answer. Triple A go with E. Rudal go with D. Rudal try to break the ice tonight. 0-2. We have RJ with B. We have Leon with E. Real Deal with D. Danny with B. Sebastian with D. Claude Richard with D. Luc Laforcine go with E. Luc right now is 0-2. Try to score. Andy Kouivula go with D. If the answer is D, the game is over for everybody. He has 3-3 if he's right. If it's not, Danny and RG can tie the game tonight. Interesting. Both of them said B. We have Frankie at E, Joe Manella at D. Gary going for 0-3 tonight. Yeah, that's true. Zeb Lecab go with E on that one. Zeb have one good answer, by the way. If he's right, he can tie the game. If Andy is wrong, during the time I'm talking that way, Mr. Enortap, you can maybe thinking about one specific answer.
I think I'm going to go with Korea.
With the E for Mr. Enortap. Mr.
It seems like the
Marko.
obvious one, right? Because you think of him as more of a passer, but I think that's a trick. I'm gonna go with Yager.
Yager for Mr. Marko on that one over there. Yeah, we'll see the answer tonight.
Oh my God!
And here we go. Steven Stamkos never reached a 400 shot, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? I'm going to reconfirm with you, not for the 400, but I will reconfirm because I believe he did not reach the 300 shot in one season. 297. Oh no, 303. He's the highest number in NHL. 303 only. Really shocking about that one there. Happy breakfast for Mr. Maurice. With that one, guys, you don't believe it. Andy is wrong. But Danny T and RG Calabro tie the game and they come back strong. And we have 3 winners tonight, ladies and gentlemen, of the show tonight. Congratulations, Mr. Danny T, Randy, not Randy, but RJ and Andy Kuivula are the winner of the night of the show tonight. Danny is only his second time of the year. RJ take the pool of the second rank of the standing, second place with 11. And then we have Andy Kuivula. Strike again. Andy is back-to-back with a W. I said to him, even the slum, he punched me back in my face over the last 2 nights with a W. Now with 10 W for Mr. Andy Kuivula. Well done, well said, well, great game for everybody. Unfortunately for the panelists tonight, tough night for each one of you, but it's okay. Okay, you can come back next week to have a better night for that one over there. And that's conclude our second edition, guys, of the Locker Room report. We'll be back next Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, talking more about the Montreal Canadiens for sure. And before we leave, we want to thank everybody in the chat, but I want to start the music, so be sure we finish at the right time. Here we go. One more thing. You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Yes, they have greatness inside of them. We want to thank both of you for your time to be with the Hockey Nation Live Show. Don't forget, Sportology is coming next week. We have another one, the Flutie, whatever his last name, the guy for the Panthers is coming next week. Stu Collins coming in October with Tim Turk and Marko D'Amico. So we're going to be busy with new guests. He's going to join us the next couple of weeks. But until the next time, guys, we want to wish to thanks to all the moderators tonight, Danny, Luciano, Jose Duarte, and of course, we want to thank all the people, all the members of the people in the chat tonight. Thanks so much for support. One super chat, Rick Bengal, and all the people, whatever who you are, we want to thank each one of you. You are great in the chat. You bring a lot of knowledge, a great answer for many others. And we want to finish one more time with this. Be well, BL. Find a way not only Dominic your day, find a way the next second half of what is enough that.
You're 23.
You did it again. An amazing, great night, everybody. Hockey Nation and the Habs Nation said to each one of you. We love you, people. Have an amazing, great night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Night, everyone. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Oh.